So if I want this video to do well, I should say passion is everything, follow your passion and everything will be alright. Or I should be on the opposite side of the spectrum and say that profit is the only thing that matters. The people that talk about passion, they don't know what they're talking about. And I believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I think that I would like to attract people that can think for themselves and who are able to see that sometimes the truth is in the middle, and we want to have a balanced view when we look at things. This will be my personal experience in this topic, and I will discuss a little bit about how I see things, maybe what I would have changed earlier on in the journey, and what I think is the sweet spot when it comes to passion versus profit. So happiness plateaus at $75,000 in annual income, according to a 2010 study. Perhaps it has been debunked since then. But for me, this makes sense because I think that if you're stressed about money, then that's not a good place to be. That is something that will lead to less happiness. And also, I think that when making money up to a certain point, it can allow you to do less of the things that you don't want to do. So for example, let's say you don't want to clean. If you make more money, you could hire someone else to do cleaning for you. But at a certain point, I think that buying more material things, such as a new car, etc., that doesn't necessarily increase the happiness by a lot. So for example, maybe you bought a car and then after 1 week, you realize that back to the base level. For the first week, yeah, you probably see an initial boost in happiness. And I like to think about history in the sense that we live like kings did 200 years ago. Even the people that are broke in Western countries, I think they live better. They have more comfort. They have access to more information, knowledge, etc. than what kings had 200 years ago. So now let's do a drawing of what I think is the ideal way to structure your self-publishing business. Maybe it's not possible in the beginning. Maybe it's not something you will do right now. But keep this in the back of your mind. And if you see an opportunity, then if I were to tell myself, my younger self, I would say, try to do this because this is going to be long-term. It's going to be sustainable in the long run. So let's imagine we have a circle here. This is passion. And then here, see, we have a circle skilled or skills or experience. And then right down here, we have market. So profitability. So I think that what we want is to be right here where all the 3 circles intersect. That is the sweet spot. If we can find something that the market wants, that we're passionate about, and that we're skilled, we have knowledge about, then I believe we've hit the sweet spot. And sometimes what I've realized is that we don't need to necessarily start off passionate about a topic. Oftentimes the passion can grow as we gain more skills and experience. So when you start off at something and you're unconsciously incompetent, then it's not very fun. For example, let's say you're starting a martial art and you're sparring. It's not super fun to be hit in the face over and over again because you don't know what you don't know. And then the next step is that you move into conscious incompetence, and that's when you realize, okay, I need to have my guard up. That can avoid me from getting punched in the face, or I need to put my stance this way, etc., etc. And then slowly but surely after that, you move into the next quadrant. So let's imagine we have 4 different quadrants. The first one we started here was in conscious competence. Then we moved here, which was conscious incompetence. And then we slowly go to this one, which is conscious competence, where we now know, okay, we're keeping our guard up. We are having the stance in a certain way. And we're doing the footwork like we should, etc., etc. Then eventually we will go into this phase where it's unconscious competence. And this is when you know how to play guitar in a way where you don't even know that how you're playing so good. You have to have other people that are pointing out what you're doing. And I think when you get to conscious competence and unconscious competence, that is when you become very passionate about it. So sometimes it's simply about outlasting and being consistent and sticking to it, because we will hit valleys of despair. Maybe in our self-publishing journey, sometimes we will feel that there's too much information, we don't succeed with our books, and we see other opportunities, we see drop shipping, we see affiliate marketing, and we think that all these other opportunities are better because we're facing challenges in our own journey. Then what we're not realizing is that if we constantly start over, so let's imagine that this is you've discovered self-publishing, you're super happy, and this is your journey, you're starting, you're learning, you're getting your book published, and then boom, what happens? Your book doesn't sell, and okay, you try to learn a little bit, and then you publish the next book, and then boom, it fails. But you still learned. You still learned. Right now you're here. So instead of starting something new and starting down here at the bottom, what you should do is you should simply continue to do these jumps. And as you do, you will eventually get higher and higher. And eventually you will get to that point where you're consciously competent and self-publishing will be fun. And eventually you will reach a point like I did where self-publishing becomes boring because you feel that you've mastered it. But then you need to find different ways to build new challenges. Maybe it's systemizing, maybe it's trying to scale it beyond a certain point that you didn't even think was possible. So there are different strategies that you can do to still continue in your self-publishing journey and make it fun. So let's go back to the passion versus profit. So I wrote a Swedish book around a couple of months ago, and that process was very fulfilling to think about what are the things that I would tell my younger self as I was getting started with business, and what are the things that I've picked up along the way. I think that can be something that's very fulfilling if we can find a way to do that through our books. I think that's the ideal thing, is we're helping our younger self. And when we're doing that, we don't focus so much on the competition. For example, as I was writing the book, I wasn't thinking about other books and what they included in their books, and I was simply focusing on helping my younger self, and thus I was helping probably the reader who is in a similar situation where they're thinking about what business to start, or do they have the courage to start, and different limiting beliefs that they might have, etc., etc. So I think that focusing on competition, it has its place when it comes to research, so that might be valuable, but eventually at a certain point I think it's better that we focus on the reader. So we use the competition as a means to provide even more value to the reader by figuring out what the readers didn't like about the competing books and what they did like about the competing books, so we can include that in our own books as well. So when you are passionate or experienced about a topic that you're publishing books in, you can also expand beyond the books when it comes to making income from the books. So let's imagine that I'm into health and I were to make books about health, gaining muscle, or losing weight, or different things that I'm interested in and that I'm listening to on my free time. Then I could be potentially selling online courses about losing weight or gaining muscle, etc., etc. So I think that going back in time, I would probably think more about how to do something that I'm already interested in. And if I'm doing that, then I will be very much able to stick with the topic in the long run. So focusing on your passion doesn't necessarily mean that you can't make money from it. I've seen people make money from gaming guides. I've seen people make money from fitness. I've seen people make money from teaching programming because that's what they're experienced in. So I think a great way to approach self-publishing in business is to look for ways where things can build on each other. Let's imagine that you have a book, and the book is helping your, let's say, personal brand, and you also have, under your personal brand, you have videos, let's say. So you have YouTube videos, and under your personal brand, you also have courses. So, and maybe you're doing coaching as well. That's coaching. Okay. Very, very beautiful drawing. So now we can start to see that everything can build on each other. So this can lead to this, and also the videos can lead to the book, and the YouTube videos can lead to the courses, and the book can lead to the courses, and the courses may lead to the book, and the coaching may lead to the courses. Maybe you say, okay, go through this course, or maybe the courses is leading to coaching, etc., etc. So you can see that slowly you can start to build a snowball effect where it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. That is why I like this, because I like to work with things that compound with time. Okay, so let's imagine that someone says, okay, but I'm passionate about eating pizza. How am I going to make money from that? Okay, is that the only thing that you're passionate about? Maybe as you're eating your pizza, you're watching sports. So if we think that way, then okay, well, sports, instead of being a consumer of sports, is there some way I can be a producer of sports? And maybe by doing that, I can start commenting on different sport events, and maybe you do a podcast, and maybe you monetize it by doing some betting service or affiliate marketing to betting sites. Or so perhaps there is a way to monetize eating pizza as well. So do you agree or do you disagree with these views? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And this video is to myself a couple of years ago. Would I change everything that I've done? Not necessarily, but I would have thought more about how can I build something long term which is associated to something that I'm really interested in. So it's completely fine to focus on simply making money, especially if you want to get to a point where the money is giving you a better lifestyle, allowing you to do less of what you want. But I think it's good to also keep the eyes open. Is there an opportunity somewhere where you can intertwine your pursuit of making money with your passion? And I would encourage you to always think long term. Maybe the thing that you're passionate about isn't what is going to pay the bills right now, but maybe you can start doing that a little bit, publish a couple of books on that topic, and then you do other books as well, which are more related to solely generating income. So think 5 years. 5 years is going to pass anyways. How do you want to arrive there? What would the ideal life look like in 5 years? For me, it would be working with something that I enjoy working on, waking up every day and feeling like working, it's the best thing in the world because it's intertwined with something that I want to do and it's making an impact. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.